Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're continuing our adventure with Hiusian Zoroark VSTAR decks. And today we're looking at Hiusian Zoroark VSTAR with Liepard. That has Chinchino's ability, Zoroark GX's ability, discard one card from your hand, draw two. And I have to say, right off the bat, when I built this deck, this, out of like the other three ways that I've built Zoroark, this one has definitely felt like the best to play, the most consistent, and just this one has just felt like a lot less janky. It felt like a real deck than the others that I built. So yeah, we're taking a look at this version today. I think this is the closest you're probably going to get to like a straight Zoroark. You still have to play some kind of into a Zoroark because you need Pokemon to put on the bench, right? Zoroark itself does not exactly sustain itself because it doesn't have the ability like Zoroark GX that is actually on the card itself. But we can play cards that give it the ability in Liepard. So let's just go ahead and start looking at the list. Of course, it is going to be post rotation, so we don't have access to Quick Ball, Marnie, stuff like that. We're starting out with 4 copies of Hiusian Zoroark VSTAR. I've talked about this card before. I'm just going to do a quick rundown. 2 energy, 50 damage for each Pokemon you have in play with damage counters. So you use the F-Drop Ball to put damage in play. And then Phantom Star, which allows you to discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Overall, super duper powerful card. And it can definitely be a card to build around in a lot of different decks. Now going into the V. Once again, I've said this before, but if you haven't watched any of those other videos I've done on Hisuian V Zoroark, the V is not too bad. For 0 energy, you get a 30 and switch, so for free you can just move to the bench, which is great. You'll never have a Zoroark in the active unless you don't want it to be there. And then you have Shadow Cyclone, which is 130, 3 energy, move 1 energy from the Pokemon to your bench. It's fine. It's not a bad involving V, especially that first attack is really nice, but nothing really more to say there. Now going into the Liepard, and it is worth noting that this Liepard, it does have an attack that for a double turbo energy, it does 60 damage, so reduced to 40. But if you have Hawlucha in play, you're going to be doing 70 damage. So weakness against Mew, you're hitting 140 for a single energy on a 1 prize, which isn't bad. Just being able to hit pretty solid damage versus Mew is great, especially like sometimes Zoroark won't be able to get there. Like you don't have like Hawlucha at the right time, but if you get Hawlucha, you can actually attack with Liepard and do a pretty good amount of damage to Mew, which is definitely something to note. So you're playing 4 copies of Liepard and 4 copies of Purloin. Pretty sure there's 2 Purloins in format, but this is the one, once again, like the Riolus. This is the one that I have the most of, so I'm going to be playing this one. If there's a 70 HP one, please let me know, because that 70 HP is definitely probably better. Also, if there's one that has free retreat cost, I'm like 99% sure there's not a Purloin free retreat cost, but there is. Once again, please let me know. So yeah, that's pretty much like the main Pokemon in the deck. We only have a couple other like little support guys, and that's going to be 1 copy of Sparkling Hawlucha, which does allow you to do 30 more damage to Pokemon VMAX. We're playing no Choice Ball on this list, so this is the way we're going to be reaching those VMAX numbers. The majority of VMAXs do have 310 HP. The ones that are prevalent right now, like the Evolutions, Leafeon, Jolteon, mainly Jolteon, with the 300, 310 HP mark. So Sparkling Hawlucha plus double Turbo Energy and 6 damage turns to play will allow us to hit 310 still, so we still can get there. And it goes to those bigger VMAXs like Rapture Urshifu. You will have to attach double basic energy, as well as Sparkling Hawlucha in play to hit the 330 as well. And one other Pokemon, 1 copy of Lumineon V, just because this card is really good post rotation, because we do lose Croat, we lose Rizal, stuff like that. We need a way to search out our supporters. Speaking of supporters, our supporter line is really weird. We play 4 copies of Iskin. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't played Legends Arceus, or I don't watch Legends Arceus videos. But Iskin draws 2 cards, and if your active Pokemon has Hisuian in its name, you get to draw 2 more. So draw 4 if your active has Hisuian, obviously our Zoroark is Hisuian, so this will say draw 4 if we have Zoroark active, which is pretty good. And then the other supporters are playing 3 copies of Kindler. Now these are probably not what you're expecting from supporters. Those are actually like all the supporters we play. This is our supporter lineup, and that might seem like really weird. Like, where are your research? Where's your gusting? Well, the idea with this deck is that with Liepard and Iscan and Kindler, you just grow your hand. So you have this massive hand with all the cards you'd ever need in it. And basically you just win off hand advantage. And that is definitely a win condition. Having more access to resources than your opponent. I have to say, like, this deck really made me appreciate just how good trade is. Just digging through your deck. Like, that ability is really good. Right now, it's kind of underwhelming whenever I play Chinchino. Because it's like, why am I playing Chinchino when I get to search out the exact card I need with Dursile? Well, this format, there's no great search other than Luminion. And Liepard is just so good. You don't need any extra resources in your hand, like Ultra Balls or Quick Balls like you need, or not Quick Balls, like Ultra Balls that you need for Babero. Liepard just does it, which is really good. So yeah, the Liepard Kindler Iscan thing is just here to help you grow your hand, get all the cards you need in your hand, and just basically just have all the answers to whatever your opponent potentially will do, and have all the resources you need to answer your opponent as well. Yeah, so no boss's orders, which means we do have to play 4 copies of Cross Switcher, and that is going to be our gusting in the deck as well as switching in the deck. Switching, we're mainly going to be relying on retreating because we do have double turbo energy. So if we just get energy turn 1, attach it to our active, and then energy turn 2, double turbo, attach it to our bench, we can retreat into the Zoroark and attack. But in the case that we don't find energy turn 1, we still have cross switches that we can eventually find 2 of to bring up whatever we want on the bench as well as switching our Pokemon. And that's how we're going to be gusting, is by using the cross switcher. And it's not too hard to find cross switches when you have multiple trades, a Kindler, an Iscan, stuff like that. It is really not hard to get to the cross switchers if you really need them. Next, just to be fairly obvious, 4 copies of Ultra Ball. It's because Ultra Ball is a very, very good card and you need it in your deck. So 4 copies of that, as well as like all the other Zoroark decks that I have showcased on the channel so far. 4 copies of Great Ball, because there's no other great search out in Zoroark decks. You don't really want to be playing Battle VIP Pass, because Battle VIP Pass goes straight to the bench, and Gape Jaw Bog, which is targeting damage into play, only activates when we put them from our hand, which means we can't use Battle VIP Pass to get our Pokemon into play. So we have to rely on Ultra Ball and Great Ball. But one of the advantages of playing Purloins and Sparkling Lucha is that you get to play Level Ball. So you have more search outs for basic Pokemon. You can play Level Ball in the deck. We are playing some of those. So you're not totally reliant on getting you're not totally reliant on Ultra Ball and Great Ball for getting out your Purloins and all your Pokemon. You have other ways to do it, which is one advantage of playing the Liepard. But yeah, just a standard like search thing that I've put in Zoroark decks so far. 4 copies of Energy Lotto, so we can find our double turbos easier, and we can also find fire energy, so we can use Kindler. It basically just increases our fire energy count, so we can find our fire energy to use with Kindler. Because Kindler is just a really powerful dig tool for building our hand and building up cards that we might need. And we only play we only play 5 fire energy. So finding them could be a little bit difficult. We didn't have the Energy Lotto, but we get to play Energy Lotto, find out fire energies, and as well as being able to find double turbo energies as well, which is really powerful. Next, we have 4 copies of Damage Pump, and this, once again, fairly standard in the Hisuian Zoroark decks, is going to be the Damage Pump. It'll move our damage around once we get into play with Gape Jaw Bog, or move damage around from a Zoroark that's taken a bit of damage as well. So yeah, Damage Pump just really, really good. But also, since we have the Liepards to draw cards, our Kindler and Iscan to dig, it's not too hard to find these Damage Pumps, which means you only need to get like 3 Pokemon down to take damage from Gape Jaw Bog before you can find your Damage Pumps pretty easily and move those damage counters around, hit some good damage. So yeah, 4 copies of Damage Pump, once again, really good card in the Zoroark decks. 2 copies of Level Ball. Like I mentioned, to search out, we can search out our Purloins as well as Zoroark and Hulucha. Not a full 4 because it only searches out who are Pokemon in your deck. Majority of the time, Level Ball will just be searching out Purloin, so we'll basically just have a 5th and 6th Purloin. But you know, that's really valuable when you're really needing to get out Pokemon. Alright, 4 copies of, you guessed it, you know it, Gapejaw Bog, the card that makes all these Zoroark decks function. So we really do gotta play for Gapejaw Bog. Yeah, it's just really, really good card. It just makes the Zoroark decks function. Whenever we enter Pokemon, it takes 20 damage, which is going to be how we're getting our damage into play to hit more damage onto our opponent with the Hisuian Zoroark attack. Energy cards for Double Turbo, which in decks that don't have really an alternate attacker that doesn't rely on Double Turbo Energy as much. You know, we've done the Lucario when we played 2 Double Turbo Energy in that list, because we also have Energy Switch, stuff like that. This list, only attacker pretty much, except for some really niche situations with the Liepard, is going to be the Zoroark. So we do need to play the Double Turbo Energies, so we can attack with those. And of course, since we do run Kindler as a main component of our deck, we have to run Fire Energy. So we're running 5 Fire Energy. And that is the list. Overall, this list has felt like really good. It feels like, I mentioned this before, but it feels more like a real deck that draws and plays than the other ones did. Those other ones felt a little bricky sometimes, just like, why am I playing a Great Ball? Like, this feels so bad. This one does not feel nearly as bad because you have trade, you have a scan, so you're drawing really, really well. Also, if you have a bad hand, that's fine. You can just dump it with the Zoroark VSTAR power, and that's what you're going to be doing the majority of the time to get through those first couple cards, find the supporters, and get those like Pokemon on the board and the Gapejaw Bog flowing. And that's where you're going to start to build your hand after you've developed those Liepards, those Purloins on the bench with damage, stuff like that. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video. I really like this build of the deck. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I hope this is my 3rd video on Zoroark. I already have a couple more other Zoroark decks built that I haven't done videos on yet. I'm just pumping out these Zoroark deck profiles. But I really enjoy doing them. I really like Zoroark. I'm really excited for Zoroark. It literally just came out. So we'll have to see how Zoroark develops. I'm really excited to see that. Yeah, that's going to do it. I'll see you guys in the next one.